Way back when I was just a little bitty boy living in a box under the stairs in the corner of the basement of the house half a block down the street from Jerry's bait shop. You know the place. Well, anyway, back then life was going swell and everything was just peachy. Except, of course, for under the fact that every single morning, my mother would make me a big old bowl of sauerkraut for breakfast. Da! Big bowl of sauerkraut! Every single morning! It was driving me crazy. I said to my mom, hey mom, what's up with all sauerkraut? And my dear sweet mother, she just looked at me like a cow, like an oncoming train. And she leaned right down next to me. And she said, it's good for you! And then she tied me to the wall and stuck a funnel in my mouth and forced me fed me nothing but sauerkraut until I was 26 and a half years old. That's why I swore that someday I will get out of the basement and travel to a magical faraway place where the sun is always shining and the air smells like warm root beer and the towels are also fluffy. The shammers play the ukulele all day long and anyone on the street will gladly shave your back for a nickel. Waka waka doo doo, yeah, well let me tell you people, it wasn't long at all before my dream came true. Because the very next day at local state radio station as a contest to see who could correctly guess the number of molecules in the Leonore spot. I was off by 3, but I still won a grand prize. That's right, a first class one-way ticket to Albuquerque. Albuquerque. Oh yeah, you know, I've never been on a real plane before, and I gotta tell you, it was really great. Except I had to sit between 2 large Albanian women with an excellent severe body odor. And the little kid back kept throwing the whole time. The flight attendants ran out Dr. Pepper and salted peanuts. And then the flight movie was built on with Polish phone. And oh yeah, 3 of the airplane's engines burned out and we went to the tailspin and crashed in the hillside and plane exploded into a giant fun ball. And everybody died! Except for me. You know why? Because I had my tray table up. And my seat back in the full upright position. At my tray table up. And my seat back in the full upright position. At my tray table up. And my seat back in the full upright position. So I crawled from the twisted burning wreckage. I crawled on my hands and knees for 3 full days. Dragging along with my big leather suitcase and my garment bag and my tenor saxophone and my 12-pound bowling ball and my lucky autographer calling the dark snorkel. But I finally arrived at the world famous Albuquerque Holiday Inn where the towels are so fluffy and you can eat your soup right out of the ashtrays if you wanna. It's okay, they clean. Well, I check into my room and I turn on the AC and I turn on my spectacles and I'm just about to eat that little chocolate mint on my pillow that I love so very, very much. When suddenly, there's a knock on the door. Well, now who could that be? I say, who is it? No answer. Who is it? There's no answer. Who is it? They're not saying anything. So I finally go over and I open the door and just as I suspected, there's some big fat hammer with a flock of seagulls haircut and only 1 nostril. Oh man, I hate it when I'm right. So anyway, he burst into my room and he grabs my lucky snorkel and I'm like, hey, you can't have that. That snorkel pin just like a snorkel to me. And he's like, tough. And I'm like, give it. He's like, make me. And I'm like, okay. So I grabbed his leg and he grabbed my esophagus and he bit off his ears and he chewed off my eyebrows and I took out his appendix and he gave me the colon iteration. Yes, it did. You better believe it. And somehow in the middle of it all, the phone got knocked off the hook. And 20 seconds later, I hear the familiar voice. And you know what it said? I'll tell you what it said. It said, if you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try again. If you need help, hang up and then dial your operator. If you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try again. If you need help, hang up and then dial your operator. And Albuquerque. Albuquerque. Well, to cut a long story short, he got away with my snorkel, but I made a solemn vow right then and there that I would not rest, I would not sleep for an instant until 1 nostril man was brought to justice. But first, I decided to buy some donuts. So I got in my car and I drove over to the donut shop and I walked up to the guy behind the counter and he says, yeah, what do you want? I said, you're gonna need glazed donuts? He said, no, we're the glazed donuts. I said, well, you gonna eat jelly donuts? He said, no, we're the jelly donuts. I said, you gonna eat Beverly and Creamfield donuts? He said, no, we're the Beverly and Creamfield donuts. I said, you gonna eat cinnamon rolls? He said, no, we're the cinnamon rolls. I said, you gonna eat apple fritters? He said, no, we're apple fritters. I said, you gonna eat bear claws? He said, wait a minute, I'll go check.